Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the Funnel Vision podcast. I'm excited to have you on today and hear a little bit of your tips and tricks and all types of sales advice.
Hi, thank you. Very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, jumping right into the first question, what is one game-changing tactic that you rely on to build strong client relationships?
Yeah, I think that for me, it's about building and maintaining. So when it comes to that, it's proactive phone calls. So phone calls to current clients, prospects, really just building that relationship and reaching out to them proactively and we say proactively meaning when nothing is wrong. So when there's no problem, a lot of times we only hear from our providers when there's a problem and I need it fixed ASAP. But when there's not a problem, reaching out proactively, how's it going? How's your 4th of July? How's the family? What's business doing? How can I help you? How was X, Y, or Z that we just delivered? I think that goes a long way with people in building and then maintaining that relationship. And how often do you really get a phone call like that?
Yeah, I think it's so true. And so many people have gone away from just picking up the phone with like technology and texting and emailing and everything else.
Yeah.
It's like you're hiding behind something. But just to pick up the phone and hear someone's voice and ask them, like, hey, how's it going? How are your kids? How's your family?
Yeah.
Like, it just it builds such a relationship that you're just not getting when you're just sending, an email and kind of hiding behind it. And it also it really creates that like that bond and trust and all those things that are truly important. And people will remember you when you
Yep.
make a phone call and when they've had a phone call with you, right? Whereas like they don't that doesn't always happen when you get hundreds of emails every day.
Yeah, I just had a talk a couple of weeks ago, and that's one of the exercises we do is when was the last time you got a proactive phone call from a supplier when nothing was wrong? And most of the time, nobody can remember. And then there's always that one person who're like, it was 5 years ago, and they remember what shoes they were wearing and if it was raining or not. And it's like they remember, like, tell me all the emails you got yesterday. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, what is the best piece of sales advice you've received, and how has that changed your approach over time?
Yeah, so this advice changed my mentality, and it's that we're not selling, we're helping. Where it's really about helping our customers more. And if you can shift your mindset to I'm helping, I'm not just trying to sell something that they don't need. They need it. Um, that made a big difference for me. So, for example, if I had, 10 products and this company bought only half of them from me, but half from my competitor, I obviously believe that I have the better product. I service them better. They should work with me. We have a better relationship. So then shifting that mindset helps you go out and get those other 10 of I'm here to help. What else do you have going on? What else are you buying from my competition that I can help you with? That's made the biggest difference for me throughout my businesses and in what I do now. Of I'm really here to help. I'm not here to sell. Um, so
Yeah, I think that does make a huge difference. And having the mindset, you're not being pushy just to sell for yourself. You're being there to help them solve their problems and give, facilitate whatever it is they need, a service, a product, whatever it may be. But I
exactly.
absolutely agree. Being there to help, and that means sometimes they might buy from you, and
Yep.
sometimes, like, what you're providing them is help, but that may come in a different way. Maybe they need an introduction to somebody in your network that can help them with their problem.
Precisely.
Or yeah, or maybe it's just a time when they don't have a need, but then they know they will eventually, and they'll come back to you. Um, which kind of leads me to my next question is, how do you stay motivated if a deal falls through or if a client, continues to tell you no?
Yeah. So honestly, I got told no today on a call, and last week we got to a proposal review, and I was told no. So I get no all the time. I mean, we work in the rejection profession of sales. You know, I think the best, what did I say? The best salespeople get told no 8 or 9 times for every yes. So remembering that when, you know, I'm helping, selling, that, well, I've got 2 no's this week. Maybe I need 8 more to get to my yes. And almost flipping it and chasing the no's and saying, that's okay. I'll stay positive about it. I'm one step closer to a yes. Things work out as they should. And I'm on track to be a great salesman still if I get told no 8 times in a row. That accompanied with in Outgrow, we have this thing called COPE. So it's confidence, optimism, positivity, and enthusiasm. So going from no to no and maintaining that is very important, because if you're on no number 8 and you get told, you know, you're no again and you're going into your 10th one and you don't bring that, you're going to bring, oh, I've gotten told no so many times, and obviously they're not going to want to work with you. You have to hold yourself to that cope, and that's been a big part for me of going from no to no.
Yeah, we say, and I always say that to my team, like every no is one step closer to yes. Like
Yeah.
you have to get the no's. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're in sales, like you're not go it's not all yeses. It's just not. But I love that cope, you know, what you said, because when you go into a meeting or like a meeting with a prospect or a client, and you have that attitude, it really does show and help. Like if you're like on your eighth no and you go into a meeting and you seem desperate because you need to
Yeah.
close a deal and like needy and like emotional about it, like that's not going to get you any further. That's probably going to get you another no. Like you've got to
Yeah.
maintain that, and you can't let your clients see that maybe you are sweating it out in the background a little bit because you really want to get
Yeah.
there, like we all do. Like we're all, you know, competitive, but like you've got to like it's almost like fake it till you make it. Like you've got to keep on and like really do like keep that attitude and keep it in the forefront and truly believe it. Like you really are every step, every no is truly one step closer to that yes.
Yeah, you
So,
have to, you almost, it sounds backwards, but you almost have to chase the no's and they'll lead you to the yes. You know,
mhm.
and I'm a big believer in remembering what your happy clients say about you. So that's what some of the work we do in Outgrow is we do happy customer interviews to remind teams the positivity that they bring. And a lot of times you don't hear that. So seeking that out to help keep that cope is really important when you're going from no to no and you're like, oh, do people just not like me? Do they not want to work with me? Like, do I not bring value? No, let's take a step back and look at everyone I have helped that believe that and really and feel that and bring that to the next conversation.
Yeah, absolutely agree. What do you think is something that a salesperson should stop doing if they want to become more successful?
Yeah. Emailing, especially in a selling situation. So if I've sent out a proposal or a quote and it's been a couple of days and we want to follow up on it, the last thing you should probably do is email them about it. I would pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I know, you know, we sent that quote out. How's that looking? Where are you at on that? Is there anything I can help you with? Anything we need to change? You want to work through that together?" That's something we do is we do proposal reviews together. But I think that that is very important. Any sort of selling situation, you're trying to close a deal, it means a lot to the person when you show up, and you don't have to show up in person, but at least give them a phone call and give them the opportunity to work through it with you. Um, Means a lot.
Yeah, and like you said at the beginning, I think so many people now hide behind the, you know, emails
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even texting, like picking up the phone, like they'll remember you. They'll, you know, even if they
Mm-hmm.
don't, you know, always pick up the phone and they'll you leave a voicemail, they'll hear your voice. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is a different type of you're hitting whatever it is in their brain, you're hitting it differently than, you know, just an email that they get millions of every single day and delete, 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 and doesn't really register.
Yeah, as Alex Goldfein says, sending an email in a selling situation is volunteering yourself into their trash bin, and it, you know, more or less is. If you want to stand out, and you know, if they have 10 quotes, if you want to be the one that stands out, you got to call them. So
Yeah, agree with you. What's one non-sales skill that every salesperson should master and why?
I believe listening. I think obviously everybody, whether personal or professional, should practice listening, um, but especially in sales, because if you go into a conversation knowing where knowing where you want that conversation to go from point A to point B, and you don't listen to anything along the way, and you know your agenda, you know what you're going to say, you're missing all of the gold of that prospect or that client of what else they need, what they need instead of. Um, so when you show up and you actively listen, they feel that. First of all, they really feel, oh my gosh, they one of the first people in weeks that's like actually listened to my problem and is going to help me solve it. Um, so they feel that you're listening, and then obviously it shows when maybe you pivot and you say, I was initially thinking this, but through our conversation, I think you need this, or maybe you don't even need me. I can refer you to somebody who's better suited. But if you don't listen, actually listen with them, you're never going to know those things.
Yeah. And how if you're only sending emails, it's really hard to listen. Like it's got to
Yeah.
be, conversation every time you pick up the phone, even if you have, you're calling just to check in on something, it opens up the just a conversation to be able to listen because I like how I see it is too, the more opportunity you give yourself to listen as a salesperson, the better, right? So that's why,
Yeah.
sending in that email, they're going to say yes, no, they're going to give you a one word answer, or they're not going to give you much background. When you pick up the phone and have a conversation, you can ask like, "Oh, why are you thinking that?" or "What's this challenge that you've been having?" and really like show them the value that you bring versus just sending an email and waiting for that no, but without any, context or clarity
Yeah.
or anything else in the process. So, so
Exactly.
important.
Hmm.
So important. As we're sitting here talking about this, I'm like, you know what? I've got a list of a couple clients in my head that need that are going to be getting phone calls today,
Yeah.
proactively just to reach out that I haven't talked to in a while, and nothing going on, but you've
Yeah.
reminded me to make sure you do that because it seems so simple, but it's something that falls off the radar
Yeah.
sometimes of like in between all of the other things and tasks. So really
Yeah.
important.
I do my proactive calls first thing in the morning. I get, they're not hard, but sometimes that's the hardest hurdle to get over. And so I do that first, get them out of the way. And I think I do 3 or 5 a day, every single day. And that's uh, you showing up for your existing customers and helping build your business forward at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about your background, what you do, and where people can find you.
So most of my career, I have been an entrepreneur, owned and operated multiple businesses over the years. Currently, I'm a certified Outgrow advisor. Outgrow is a proven revenue growth operating system. Companies that run on Outgrow average 15 to 30% revenue growth annually, year over year, on top of what they're already on pace to do. There have been over 400 companies that have run on Outgrow over the past 20 years, and they've added over $1 billion in total revenue. So I help companies make more money systematically. So
Love
that's,
that. And it sounds like an amazing, system. I just love it. The more I hear about it, the more I'm like, it is simple and so effective.
yeah. And I started to implement it in my last business, where I ran a small construction company, and I had more work than I knew what to do with. And I knew that I did not want to grow that business to scale it, and be in it forever. And I saw the huge, how this worked so hugely for me in that business. And I was like, I should probably do this and help other companies that have struggled the way I have. And then implementing the system, bam, I had I had too much work. But yeah, it's an
Yeah.
amazing system. It's an amazing community, and it's really, it's not just sales training. It's sales doing. It's doing the work, and being confident, optimistic, positive, enthusiastic, which is so much more than just work like that. that infuses into your day-to-day life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And where can people find you? What's the best way for people to contact you or get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I have my LinkedIn, obviously, Ryan Pisciotta. And then also our website is rlgrowth.com. On our website, we have multiple free tools and techniques, as well as blogs that have really good insight into many of the things we've been talking about today. My phone number is also on the site. My email's on there. Anybody's free to proactively call me anytime they would like. So feel free to check the website out. Lots of great resources there.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. I'm glad that you were on today and appreciate your time. And I'm excited to see how Outgrow helps all your clients grow.
Thank you. It was great to be on. I appreciate you having me. Great conversation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.